Welcome to day 20. Knowledge is power. How to win at retail. The Retail Solve Blueprint to teach you everything you need to know to confidently grow and scale your brand, build a connected community of loyal evangelists, and multiply your brand's impact, sales, and profits. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Dan Lohman. I've had the privilege of mentoring and working with hundreds of brands, from pre-revenue to multi-billion dollars in sales. This is a culmination of the best strategies that are working today. I spent years testing and perfecting them to save you valuable time and money while giving you the edge that you deserve. If you haven't done so yet, download the free 30-day guide to prosperity workbook at retailsolve.com/30-day workbook to get the most out of this brand building series. And go back and listen to all the episodes in this masterclass so that you don't miss a thing. The strategies build upon each other in the order of the series. Please share these and help me raise the bar in natural. I want to take a moment to recap the last episode, how to become an expert in your retail partner. In that episode, we talked about the differences between retailers. No two retailers are alike, and yet we apply the same strategies and tactics when we work with every retailer. The problem is this: you need to differentiate the way you communicate with them and the way you work with them to give them the one-on-one support and help that they need and they deserve. The way you do that is through account penetration. That's a fancy way of saying, how do you get to know the retailer? How do you get to understand what their needs are? And how do you meet and exceed those needs? After all, that's the secret to your success. Your ability to deliver at a much higher level than any of your competition. This is exactly why I created the free turnkey sales story strategies course. This is the foundation that every brand should be using, should be built on. The reason this matters is because you need to become an expert in your customer, an expert in the competition, and an expert in the retailer. Now, don't just pay lip service to this. Go through this course. Sadly, as I've highlighted in other episodes, a lot of brands just pay lip service to this. They don't take the time or make the commitment to do this and to do this right. And that's what that course is about. Because you're an overachiever, I made this course free. So go through and take it. And better yet, take it with your entire sales team. This is going to give you the edge that you deserve. Now for today's topic. Knowledge is power and how to win at retail. There are two different kinds of knowledge, book smarts and street smarts. And let me explain the difference. A lot of brands use what I would call book smarts. In other words, this is the way we do it because this is the way we do it. This is not only what you're taught in school, but this is what all the different CPG brands teach. This is the way we do things, tried and true, right? Well, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results? Street smarts, however, is where you're applying your creativity and you're taking the strategies that you learned in school, so to speak, and you're taking those and making those your own, and then you're getting creative with them. You're looking for creative ways to differentiate your brand at shelf, and that begins with personalization. So let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. You're taught throughout the industry that you need to rely on canned top-line reports for everything you do, push-button category management, as I call it. Well, the reality is this. Every retailer is getting the exact same report in the exact same format with the exact same information. How do you differentiate yourself? The answer is you don't. The way you differentiate yourself is by applying your creativity, by looking deep beyond the canned top-line reports and understanding the key trends that are really driving sales. The point is this. Canned top-line reports overlook or commoditize shopper insights. They don't tell you what's actually going on at shelf, and they're not going to help the retailer grow either. Think of it this way. You're constantly chasing after that elusive sale, constantly using the same strategies that every other brand is using. Street smarts, on the other hand, allows you to look at where the puck's going. It allows you to identify the key trends and then make sure that you're capitalizing on those key trends. And better yet, you're helping your retail partner achieve what they want: more traffic in their store, a reasonable profit in the category, and a competitive advantage. And by helping them, savvy retailers might even help you achieve what you want: more sales, sustainable sales, better distribution, better merchandising, and so on. The sole focus of this entire series is how do I help you become what I would call a category leader. A category leader, by my definition, is any brand willing and able to step up and help guide their retail partner to grow sustainable sales by leveraging the strength of your unique customer, the customer that your brand attracts. So let's dig into this a little bit more. If you rely on the tried and true strategies, One of the challenges that a lot of brands have is out of stocks. Well, how do you reduce them? If you have out of stocks, well, that embarrasses your retail partner. Sadly, when most brands have out of stocks, they want to play the blame game. It was the distributor, it was the broker, it was something. Dog ate their homework, who knows? But you need to step back and remember that your brand has your name on it. Anything that happens with your brand, whether it's out of stock, a customer doesn't like it, etc., that's a reflection of your brand. It doesn't matter who messed up or if a truck was late or ran out of gas on the highway or something. The bottom line is that that brand has your name on it, and that's your opportunity to make an impression on the retailer that you're trying to attract. And it's your responsibility to leverage the strength of your brand to drive that customer into a retail store. After all, isn't that why you have a brand on a retailer shelf? Let's face it, if no one buys your products, you don't have a company. So, from my standpoint, you need to constantly be focused on how do you make that good first impression each and every time a customer walks into the store. And then how do you leverage that relationship that you have with your customer to help that retailer, your retail partner, drive sustainable sales. If you're relying on what I call push-button category management or canned top-line reports, then you're overlooking what's really driving sales at shelf. And more importantly, you're also overlooking a lot of the key dynamics on the shelf. For example, let's say that your products come 12 to a pack and the retailer places 2 orders with your brand every single week. Well, that sounds fantastic, right? 24 units? But what the reports don't tell you is that you may be out of stock 2 or 3 days in a row, that you may not have enough holding power to survive the weekend without out of stocks. Remember, every out of stock embarrasses your retail partner. It upsets your customer and it gives them an opportunity to shop your competition. You definitely don't want this. Again, this is where you apply creative or street smarts to your book smarts. This is why you start with a canned top-line report, but then you need to be creative. You need to understand exactly how much of your product sells every single day of the week so that you make sure that you don't have out of stocks. There are some creative ways to do this, but we'll get to that in later episodes. The bottom line is that you need to make it easy and safe for retailers to look for you to results. You need to deliver at a much higher level than any of your competition, and you need to exceed their expectations. This is how you differentiate yourself, and this is how you become an indispensable partner to your retailers. This is how you put yourself in a position when they think of you first when they need something. For example, an incremental display. I shared in a previous episode how retailers would call me up out of the blue and say, "Hey, I've got an end cap. Would you like it?" Or, "I need a floor stack for this weekend. Can you help me out?" Imagine how far something like that will go to helping you achieve and exceed your sales goals and objectives. Now, one of the most effective ways to do this, and I go deep into this in the Turnkey Sales Store Strategies course, is you need to know your competitors. You need to understand their business better than they do. You need to become an expert in them, everything about them. Sadly, most people don't even understand their own company's trade marketing strategies. This is where you have an opportunity to differentiate yourself by not only becoming an expert in your company's trade marketing strategies, but what about your competition? For example, if you know that they promote on the first of the month, well then don't promote at the first of the month, promote at the end of the month, so that your promotion precedes their promotion. You want to learn how to leverage your competitors' strategies at retail. For example, when I was selling potato chips, I realized that Frito sold their products had big promotions on every single holiday. Well, what I did instead is I would promote my product before the holiday, right before it. And I'd give a super great deal so customers would pantry load. So that effectively took them out of the market when Frito promoted their products. Do you see how this can differentiate your brand and your selling strategy and your ability to compete? By leveraging what you know about your competition, how they promote, when they promote, and where they promote, you can capitalize on those key learnings. And better yet, you can leverage those to help drive more traffic in store. Another big competitor of ours used to promote their brand on specific seasons. We knew exactly when they were going to promote their products, so I would always promote ahead of time, before them. This is why you want to become an expert in every retailer so that you can leverage your insights as you work with each one. Schedule promotions that don't step on other retailers' promotions. Leverage these strategies so that you can differentiate the retailer to give them a competitive advantage. Leverage these skills to gain the edge that you deserve. And this also makes it easier for retailers to say yes to your recommendations and makes your brand more attractive to the retailer and to the customers they support. By leveraging these simple strategies, this is how you become a category leader. This is how you differentiate yourself from your competition. And this is how you become the go-to resource anytime they need help. Remember, the three things retailers want: more traffic in their store, a reasonable profit in the category, and a competitive advantage in the market. Consider, how does your promotion and how do your strategies impact the retailer in each one of those 3 points as you put together a strategy and as you work with the retailer? For additional inspiration, listen to podcast episode Secrets 30, How to Get Your Brand on Retailer Shelves, what retailers really want. In this episode, I cover a lot of things that we talked about here today, but I give specific strategies that I've used to push around some of the largest and the most iconic brands on the planet. Secrets 30, How to Get Your Brand on Retailer Shelves, what retailers really want, need, and want. Next, listen to Secret 76, Proven Merchandising Strategies Used by Category Leaders that Win Over Retailers. In this episode, I teach you the merchandising strategies that you can leverage with your retail partner to give them the edge that they deserve. Secret 76, Proven Merchandising Strategies Used by Category Leaders that Win Over Retailers. Next, listen to Secret 78 with Scott Jensen with Rhythm Superfood and Stubbs Legendary Barbecue Sauce, leveraging mainstream best practices to build 2 legacy natural brands. After our interview, Scott gave me one of the best endorsements testimonials I've ever had. He said that listening to a few of my episodes, while there were many, were like getting an MBA in entrepreneurship. Thank you, Scott, for sharing your thoughts. Scott validates that the strategies that we're talking about here throughout the podcast series and throughout this 30 Day to Prosperity series are the same strategies that are going to give you the edge that you deserve. The same strategies that are going to help you stand out on a crowded shelf. Secret 78, Scott Jensen, with Rhythm Superfood and Stubbs Legendary Barbecue Sauce, leveraging mainstream best practices to build 2 legacy natural brands. And then I recommend you listen to Secrets 113 with Tim Forrest Consulting, the 9 essential pillars for sales success. In this episode, Tim goes through step by step the strategies that he teaches brands and how he leveraged those strategies to give those brands the edge that they deserve. Secrets 113, Tim Forrest Consulting, the 9 essential pillars for sales success. Tip of the day: knowledge is power, especially in this industry. Rise above your competition by becoming the trusted go-to resource that retailers turn to get the edge that they deserve. I've recorded this on video, which has illustrations and additional information that I can't share on an audio podcast. You can watch a company video on the podcast webpage, and you can get there by going to retailsolve.com/session 246. In tomorrow's show, we'll talk about how to know the value of your promotions. Prioritize trade marketing. This is a show you definitely don't want to miss. This episode will build on today's conversation. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next show.